Contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today, our 2023 champions finally make their way back to the stage, and they'll be taking on the new kids on the block. That's right. Hello and welcome, everyone, to Day 6 of the VCT America's Kickoff, coming to you live from the Riot Games Arena here in Los Angeles, California. I'm Uber. I'm on the net today alongside Bala, Bren, and Baby Bay. Bren takes notes now, which is crazy.
Yeah, I didn't used to do that.
You're taking notes,
crazy.
bro. That's wild.
Yeah.
You're real for that, though.
I learned to read and write.
That's good on you. Loving that. Bala, good to have you back. We had a lot of fun yesterday.
A good day yesterday.
Do you have anything to say to this guy down here? Or
Dude,
you guys good?
Yeah, we got to talk about this whole Doug situation that you guys. You're stealing my baby girl. I don't know what's going on.
Man, I mean, like, on the street. I don't know what to say. I'm just kidding, Doug. I love you. I love you. I love you, Doug. I love you. Thank you so much.
Before the cane comes off from screen and yanks herself, good to have you back, man. Great debut yesterday on the cast, man. Looked like you had a lot of fun with it. I think that was like something I noticed. Your enjoyment for the game really shines through. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah. I was definitely nervous at first. I'm going to keep it a buck. But as that second map came on, I just felt more and more comfortable. And it felt like me and Doug really got a vibe going on. No offense to you.
Could have dumbed it down a little bit, you know?
You get a lot of shots.
When you catch the vibe, it's all good. I understand.
Okay. Let's talk about what happened on this stage yesterday. Nothing to do with him and his new casting partner. First, it was an NA showdown with NRG taking on Cloud9. Now, I do think that most of us felt pretty good about NRG coming into this. Like, we barely sort of scratched the surface. And Cloud9 had their moments, but generally, struggled to match up.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think both of these games had some super high expectations, and they didn't live up to that hype, right? I think these two teams right here, NRG and Cloud9, were, they're North American blockbusters here. And I think NRG definitely is still showing that they have that level, but Cloud9 definitely didn't put up the same fight that I hoped they would.
No. I mean, it depends what your expectations were at, but honestly, I felt like I came in on the other side of that thinking NRG were, like, even better, because I just wanted to see them test a little bit more.
Yeah.
And granted, they're not playing against, like, some of the stronger teams in Americas, right? Because I would say that's, like, in Group B largely, and we might see that in playoffs onwards. But, yeah, I mean, I didn't walk away upset with what I saw.
No, but I'm saying in terms of the quality of both games yesterday, it was like I was expecting, like, big bangers, but it was just kind of flat for me. I don't know.
I'm honestly surprised C9 even, like, stuck in there, because for a second it just felt like NRG was going to take that last map and just run away with it. The fact that it even got to OT showed that NRG still has a lot of things they need to improve on as a team.
So following that, after we sort of had our expectations reset for NRG, now we're thinking, okay, these guys might go a bit further. It was Leviathan taking on Loud. And we were split on this. I mean, on the desk, our Preds, we weren't quite sure. Bayern started off really in favour of Leviathan, right? This explosive A-side hit was really pretty incredible. Some wild moments here from King, of course, and it still wasn't enough to keep Leviathan in it. Yeah. Loud really showed us yet another level, some more depth to this team.
This is a silly game.
It was crazy.
He was moulding on split.
I could tell when it was coming to the death segments, you were literally losing hair. I mean, that was just a silly game, man. It was two teams that was, I don't know. You were seeing some of the best at moments of the individuals really shining through, and it felt like a weird one just as well. Because, I don't know. It was all over the place.
A lot of throwing going on from both ends.
Sometimes.
But, something I want to touch on that's so unique is this Loud team and these comps that they're running. They're so off meta on some of these maps, like this Ascent. Even the Bind, they're running Phoenix on Bind.
Dude,
I mean, they're basically reinventing like a new meta, and like we don't see this very often with these teams in this league.
And I sort of said that, like, we interviewed Stardark after, and we're like, how have people not figured this out yet? And he's like, well, just because we play the same comp doesn't mean we play the same way.
Same way, yeah.
Because, again, like, they're so focused on being flexible and adaptable and managed to get them through there. So, here is our bracket right now, and today we've got just a singular match for you. It is our upper bracket matchup in Group C. We will finally get our first look at the new Evil Geniuses when they take on G2. It's the World Champs versus the Ascension Champions. It was like 471 days between Reykjavik and Ascension for that guard team. Now, obviously, as G2, I've never seen that level of grind, I don't think, in esports at all. I mean, that's like 2 years in the trenches almost.
You had to for them. I mean, they were in the business in Challengers. Unfortunately, like, they didn't make it all the way up into the partnership system last year, and they immediately were determined. I mean, they won the last offseason tournament of the year last year, and then they grinded all the way through Challengers into Ascension, and they deserve to be up on this stage. I mean, we had Valen here a couple times last year in the studio with us, and we all knew he was coming back. We all knew that he was going to play on that stage.
Well, we just scratched the surface. We haven't talked about EG, what they're supposed to look like, what their expectations are. We will get to that. But it's a new year of VCT, which means new rosters, new metas, more importantly, new looks. It's time for Baby Bay Watch. I didn't write that. How about this? Look at those forearms.
Look at that watch. Oh my
goodness.
God.
Are those biceps real, bro?
I think this guy's been bouldering. That's what I'm saying. So, the Drip King's here. We may as well rate some of the looks that we've seen here at Kickoff. Let's start with our first one. Here's Loud's Sadak.
Ooh.
Give it to me straight, baby. But I want top to bottom, my guy.
What's in the suitcase?
Yeah.
But at the top, I love the varsity jacket. Jersey underneath actually matches perfectly. A nice little print in there, too. Shoes looking clean, matches with the white of the jacket. And I just really want to know what's in the box, man. Like, what's he got in there? That's top secret, bro.
Phoenix Strats.
That's the Phoenix Strats? It's just one playbook.
The sticky note.
QCK, get alt and go kill. That's what it is, huh?
All right,
nice, though. I like that.
We're loving that look. Yeah, it looks like he's got a lot to hide, for sure. Okay, well, next up, familiar face on the broadcast here. Yeah, what do you make of this one? This is your own sideshow.
Looking like a creeper.
Little Minecraft creeper moment. You know what,
The
though?
tips on the stash.
You know what? Yeah, I was about to say, the stash, I think it can work. It can work in a little bit, you know what I mean? He needs that stash money.
Do you have a problem with the way that I dress?
Wait. So that's who's gonna wear the bucket hat. I wanted to wear that, man.
Yeah, I've got the banana pants on.
Could you? I mean, you know what, bro? Like, we need you to walk out with some of the teams, bro, and give them a lesson.
You notice how he changes his tune as soon as I come in? He's like, you're actually the style guru.
To be fair, your stash in that picture does not look nearly as good as you're doing it now.
Right, and that's the big difference.
That is the main difference.
That's the big
On
difference.
point right now, doesn't matter what he's wearing.
Are you serious? Why are the tips bleached? What are you talking about?
I love that. Why do they're bleached, but they're moving, trending upwards? They're slicked up.
Nonsense again.
I thought that was just bleached from like excess twisting because he's always at it. You know what I mean?
I did not expect that. Bro.
Diabolical. Yeah, you twist him and he starts going. Yeah. And everyone runs away.
It's like a different person when he twists them, you know? He came in here really aggressive. I got scared.
His alter ego. It's like Dr. Robotnik out here.
What is he dressed like that
I don't
for?
know. I don't know where they found that much clashing clothes.
I know where they went to. They went to my old wardrobe from previous esports shows.
If there's anyone that can rock it, it's him, though. I got to keep it real.
I mean, it's about confidence, it's how you wear it. All right, next up, we've got G2's Valen. Give me your thoughts on this one here. We are loving the polo hoodies.
I love it. I love the Ralph Lauren, man. It looks sick. It looks like he's a soccer player or like a football player. You know what I mean? Like, that's the vibe I'm getting from this, like a Manchester, type vibe. And you know what? The shades. Why is everyone wearing so many shades now? Huh? Everyone thinks they're so cool.
Los Angeles, man. Why do people protect their eyes these days? That's whack.
This is whack. But I like the backpack too. You get a little college vibe going on. It's not bad, bro. It's not bad. Valen's got swag.
You got that leather
Valen's
straps.
got swag,
You know, subtle hinted affluence. I like that. Yeah, better than 6 Rolexes on the same arm. You know? Tells the same story.
What is this, though? A uniform? I'm confused.
Yeah, well, look at the middle. It must be one of them collaborations I keep hearing about.
It's definitely a collab.
You know?
What does the full fit look like, though? Do we have a full body fit? No?
I mean,
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Watch this wear shorts on
Did you-
it ruins the whole thing.
True.
what's this about, eh?
What do you got to
That looks proper nice.
Is that a purse?
Yeah. It's a merce, thank you.
Interesting.
Yeah, right. All right, there you have it. A bit of Baby Bay watch for you. Maybe we'll bring this one back later because I'm quite sure Josh has got more where that came from. We're going to a quick pause. And when we get back, we'll dive into today's matchup. It is Evil Geniuses and it's G2. So we'll see you then.
And they are being met with G2. Your players towards the back. Leaf and Valen respond in kind.
Oh, he's just adding bodies to the count. Jorgamo unleashing fury.
He's ridiculous today.
Welcome back, everybody. No one quite knows what to expect when the 2024 iteration of EG will take the stage, but there's been plenty of chatter. We love some unknowns here at the VCT, and someone's going to clear them up for us right now. Here's what G2's Valen had to say on our show.
We don't scrim them, of course, because we play them, but I'll look on like the friends list and I'll see them dominating some scrims. So I know they have what it takes to compete. Like, no doubt about that. All the players are good, and Nature's on that team, right? On EG.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had an interview like before kickoff, and I was saying that I think Nature is like an underrated player. I think he's pretty strong. He plays a lot of different agents well, and so nothing is free, nothing is given. We just have to go out and earn it like we did today again.
It's nice to know that pros get their info about who's scrimming and who's on what team, like us mere mortals, right? Check the friends list, see who's in the lobby, see what the score is, you know. I like that he takes a moment to sort of mention Nature, who was someone that featured really heavily in challenges in Tier 2 for quite some time. He says, like, he's really flexible and someone worth looking out for.
Yeah. I think that all the chatter about EG right now is really interesting because everybody's talking about the scrim bucks. And I think people are hyping up individual players, especially people who they're friends with or whatever, because they're excited for this team because they are tearing it up. And I think people are not ready in general about what EG is actually going to put out on the stage.
It's a weird team to assess the expectations for them, which, we'll talk more about the expectations of this 2024 roster, but everyone is gassing them up. And they've got some lovable personalities on there. And, you've still got Potter leading this core of unknown players. It's a very similar storyline to what they had to coming into 2023. Everybody was against them, downing them back then, and they went on to win the championship. So you never really know. It's definitely humbled me, I think, coming into this with my expectations and the kind of takes that I'm willing to throw out with a team like EG.
I'm getting the vibe that they just have a lot of friends amongst these other VCT players and they're happy to gas them up. Com also had some praise for his former team when he came through here. I'm going with my boys at EG. I think they're going to pull it out. Had the pleasure to scrim with all those guys for a little bit, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. And I think that's a big relief, right? Because it is a bit jarring seeing a world champion team, all the turmoil they went through in the off-season, then to... let's be real. They had to throw together a roster at the last minute, to the detriment of the players that were sort of stuck on there, and then the new blood that came in with all these huge expectations on them. So I kind of want to hear a little bit from them for a moment. So we're going to head out to Wyatt. That's right, Wyatt's out in the field, and hear from Evil Genius's Jorgamo.
Well, now, Jorgamo, let me talk to you for a second here. I've got a big question about what's going on today with your match. Why should people buy the EG skin capsule?
Why should people buy the EG skin capsule? So you can bail me and Potter out of jail.
And please, you heard it here first. Do it for poor Jorgamo and Potter.
He had one chance. One job. Just sell.
That is so based.
Facts.
That is so incredibly based, Jorgamo. I'm not going to lie. That is so funny. Yeah,
I love that he's leaning into it, man.
Yeah, you got to.
Chris Tapolino is loving seeing this happen. He sat in his executive chair like, yeah, I love that one. Thanks, Jorgamo. Fair enough, though. Help them out, all right? Again, this is a team that people really love. People really want to get behind. I think, Potter as a coach, a huge amount of people were really sort of drawn to that story. The fact that she's built this team up the way that she has. Because at the start of last year, no one thought that Evil Geniuses were going to qualify for champs, let alone win it all. But now we have to reset again. There's an entirely new roster with only Jorgamo remaining. One of that championship team is remaining. And this guy was incredible at champs, unstoppable. Yeah. But it's just one guy.
You could make an argument for him having one of the best performances there. Obviously, Demon 1 is the highlight of that run, but Jorgamo was there the entire time. And I think part of the reason why they even have that start at Tokyo in the first place.
Yeah, I was shocked as well that Jorgamo didn't get picked up in the offseason. Yeah. That he ended up, staying with EG in this roster when all the other pieces of that EG roster, that championship caliber team, got picked apart, placed onto other areas. But Jorgamo, this guy's still a heavy hitter. There's a reason why a bunch of players are gassing this guy up. There's a reason why they're still saying there's some danger in this EG squad, despite the fact that they've thrown together this roster very last minute with some relatively unknown or unproven pieces, especially when you consider some of the 2023 performances of these players. So, yeah, still, you've got to put some respect on Jorgamo's name. This guy, he can do it all. I've seen this guy playing Power Word and Valorant once on his Twitch stream. Very funny. I don't know how he was capable of that. It was literally like the faker moment where he's alt-tabbing, playing Tetris and all that other whatever it was. So this guy's got talent. Yeah. And he's still a star player, and he could potentially.
How do you characterize him as how do you characterize him in terms of the impact that he has on his teams?
I mean, very positive, right? This is a guy who really brings up everybody at the same time. Like, he's one of those emotional leaders at the same time, but also being incredibly aggressive, incredibly flexible, able to fill roles where it's needed. And I think that's going to be a key point here for him and Potter as they try to rehash this team. One thing that's impressive with Jogmo and EG in general is they always bring out the best of the best in the confidence of the players. And I think that what's interesting about this team, though, is we kind of have a good image of what the rest of the team is actually capable of, right? We've seen Derek, we've seen Superman, we've seen all these guys, and we've seen their ceilings at the level.
And we've seen their peaks.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen their peaks. Last year, we didn't really know like how far Calm could go, how far Jogamo could go. We didn't even know who Demon One was at the beginning of the year. So it's like, I'm not sure if it's going to be that same.
Do you think we've seen their peaks on this team, though? Like, do you think you have enough information to kind of know where these guys sit?
No, that's the thing, right? Potter and Jogamo and these guys are always going to be able to pull a little bit extra out, but is it going to be that much
doubt
higher?
my boy Derek as well. Listen, I'm a tier 3 sub. I'm a Derek stan, I'm telling you. This guy, listen, Sky's been nerfed. He's not going to be put on Sky anymore. I hope not, at least, anyway. Sova, back in play, maybe. I mean, listen, he didn't have a good last year, but still.
I mean, if it's Potter and what you did with Kami last year, then definitely.
Brings out the best.
So, I mean, that's a great segue because we want to take a closer look at this new EG team and understand, like, what is so strong about them or why we should be excited. So let's hear from the person that knows the roster better than anybody else. It's Coach Potter.
There is a lot of untapped potential and a lot of talent. For me, it's familiar territory. Gotta start with the IGL nature. I could just tell right away, this guy's a beast. Day 1 of trials, I told Jaw right away that he was the one. He was gonna be our IGL. He's so mechanically capable, always able to just get whatever clip he wants. He's deadly.
Any and all map control they can get.
Yo, Kimpeki, oh my goodness! You don't need Kimpeki when you have a force of nature like nature!
Everyone knows and loves Jogimo. This year, he is gonna be the main duelist. He's one of those players that absolutely played better on stage, in front of a crowd, when the stakes were highest and when the pressure was highest.
Jorgamo getting aggressive, and he's just adding bodies to the count. Jorgamo unleashing fury.
Come on, baby, let's go, man.
He is gonna have to be the spearhead who leads us, prove everyone wrong and prove that he's better than Demon One.
Derek playing spoiler a little bit. On to Leaf, gets the second out to Jake too. Oh dear!
Derek coming through. He's coming from 100 Thieves. He has a lot to prove for himself. Didn't have as much of a successful year last year. I think that's kind of been the storyline for all members coming into EG, is wanting to prove something or another. And Derek absolutely is one of those players. Superman, I'm excited as heck to have him on the squad. He is a role player to the max. Being a controller is kind of boring sometimes, but for FOT, he makes it look good. He's maybe lost one clutch out of the hundreds and hundreds of rounds that we've played. This guy is just ice cold.
Able to take care of Bang. Oh, that showstopper, my goodness, Superman.
This guy is just unreal.
Apoth's story is really cool. I've been coaching him for several years now, and he was a nobody, I'm a nobody, and he's just sat there telling me I'm going all in on Valorant.
Now all of a sudden pressure on towards the basement, retracking back right into the waiting arms of Apoth, who secures the full ace.
In esports, people always talk about proving yourself, hard work, all of those things. So I think it's really cool that we've put our money where our mouth is.
Well, pretty strong statements there from Potter, and it definitely, I don't know, it starts to stoke some excitement about what this team could be capable of. So let's put our expectations out here right now. Based on that, based on what we know, based on the history of these players, what do we expect from this new look EG?
I mean, for me, it's still low, right? I think the floor is low for this team, and the thing is, all the hype around it is getting me kind of excited. Yeah. They don't have the reserve roster to help them out this time around, and I think that's going to really hurt them when they have to really prove a lot.
Right, exactly, because you saw the peaks of EG last year were really drilled through these executes of having that reserve roster here. Their Fracture was one of the best in the world. They were one of the best in the world at this map, and it was so well drilled. The utility, your ult combos, it was all there. It made them a real fearful opponent when they were playing on this map. They don't have that reserve roster that we've already mentioned. They were running drills. They said that. They were a key part of victory. When they went up onto that stage and won the championship, they were saying, listen, our reserve team was just as much of deserving of this title as the rest of us that actually played this, because they were a key part in them actually being developed as players. Now, they don't have that this time. Potter's still a fantastic coach. We know that. She's proven in that capacity, and these players definitely have that potential. So I don't think we should set the floor really at the very bottom. Sure. Who knows with this team? Listen, I think they're going to be contenders maybe for the middle of the pack teams, but it's going to be a tough ask when they don't have as many resources compared to last year.
Yeah, it's a fair point, right? It's not a narrative we talk about much in VALORANT at all, is having that sister team, that extra team to sort of be screwing and playing against. But they'll have no shortage of opponents here at the VCT Americas. Speaking of which, let's move on to their opponents and send it back over to Wyatt. He's managed to wrangle out there somewhere G2's Leaf.
Back in the bush.
Hold on, Leaf, let me stop you there for a second. I have a very philosophically deep, controversial even question for you. Why should people buy the G2 skin set?
It has the best player card and the best colors. That's all.
It's just that simple. Thank you, Leaf.
Yeah.
You know what? Instead of appealing to financial hardship, he appeals to the aesthetics of the capsule, which I find completely reasonable. That is basically what I'd expected to hear. But G2, though, they had to fight tooth and nail to get that first win here in the VCT Americas against Crew. A Crew that went 0-9, obviously last year, that had this unreal run through LCQ. I don't know, at times it really didn't feel like G2 were winning when they actually did it. I like this, the Brimstone play on the attack here, deep smokes, move up in towards Snowman on Icebox here, but they really had to adapt on Sunset.
Yeah, I love this match as a setting stone for G2 coming into the league because they got challenged by what was the worst team in the league last year. Obviously, they weren't actually the worst team, but going winless and then being able to do this and saying, hey, welcome to VCT, they still end up coming out with the win, though, and I think that speaks to the level that G2 is going to bring to
They
the
got
stage.
tested, really, in their adaptability. That's like Valen calling his game, and over the course of that series, you could really see it shift and mold to the way that Crew are playing.
They used 2 timeouts in the first 7 rounds on Sunset.
Yeah, they're so unorthodox in terms of the way the Crew play as a team. A lot of 4-1 defaults, a lot of lurking, a lot of contact play, heavy stuff relating to that. And Valen and his team, they weren't really set up for that initially. That's why they were on the back foot straight away with that first map. But they did bring it back. They did get the win. And yeah, Crew are no slouches, even though they went 0-9. They went on that LCQ run. They've got that firepower there. And they shut them down. That's why it felt like that they weren't winning at any point in turn, because Kesnet dropped like 31 kills on one map, and the rest of them are just like all even spread. Like they're not winning in terms of the individuals, like one player popping off. It took team play, fundamentals, and good calling to get them over the finish line.
Right, and this could be a match considered a great example of great calling and adaptations. And so we had a chat with Valen after this game, specifically about his calling and how it had to evolve. So let's listen in.
Because the game is so ever-changing, maps coming in and out, new metas and everything, just because we have a long core doesn't mean that our like fundamentals or everything stays the exact same throughout the long period of time. You always have to re-innovate as a team and try to be different, or else you're going to fall behind, right? So, but the one thing that kept us like growing is just our mindset together, and honestly, our time spent building relationships with each other.
Anytime I ask someone about VALORANT, IGLing is the first thing that comes up. For some reason, this guy stands head and shoulders above the rest. Quickly, why?
Yeah, I think it's because he's so adaptable. I think it's because he gets the trust in his players to be able to make calls super on the fly, and he's able to make those decisions for himself and really be super decisive, right? Always finding the gaps when you need to, and being able to make the right reads as well is something that I think he's still learning. I think you saw that in the Crew game, and depending on the strength of their opponents, that's the level that you kind of have to still work on with Valen, but he's fantastic everywhere else.
Yeah, and especially when you have to contend, like we said, with these individual moments of, Kesnet. And yes, don't get me wrong, Jonah P had some real highlights as well, but it's not on the same level as an individual like Kesnet.
Timings are disgusting, by the way.
The guy's like ripping off heads, getting 2Ks, 3Ks almost every other round. And when you're up against that, you can sometimes just get knocked in terms of your confidence. Your team can feel like you're not winning any fights. And it has to be the calling, it has to be playing together to pick yourself up. It has to be the IGL who's going to be steering, navigating the ship through some like tumultuous tides, right? And Valen is that guy. I've spoke to him. He's incredibly eloquent. He's very, very intelligent for his age as well. He's got a great mature head on his shoulders, and it definitely shows, I think, in terms of the way he calls.
And leadership with that call for so long, that's got to mean something for sure. G2, though, will their style work better against EG today than it did against Crew as they kind of struggled and had to adapt? Personally, I think the only way to settle this is a good old-fashioned debate. That's right, it's time for Decision 2020. That's probably an American reference, Decision 2020. I don't know.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah? Okay, good. Bala and Ben, God help me, Ben and Bren are going to debate. They're going to argue. They're going to have a bit of a chin wag, a bit of a gas bag. And we want chat to weigh in on who they thought was a more compelling debater.
Serious.
So spam EG or G2 in the chat, because the question is, will G2 style work better today and allow them to get the win? We're going to start with you. What's your position?
No, I don't think that EG style or G2 style will work against EG here, because I think EG is something of an unknown quantity. And when you think about the quantity that they have coming into this, it is Potter. It is somebody who is very adaptable. It is somebody who can really bring out and read and adapt to what you're doing on the other side.
Valid points.
So when you look at G2 and the way they played against Crew, yes, they were kind of giving up a lot of space. They were trying to react to Kesnet. And I think all that space that they have to do and have to give up is something that EG is going to pounce on and immediately take
5
everything
seconds
from it.
I don't think that's the case. I mean, EG as a team, they went hyper into heavy XX early in last season when they were building up their roster in 2023. Wasn't it? That was your buzzer? Oh, I thought everybody was disagreeing with me. I got really insecure for a sec. The EG,
20 seconds.
20 seconds. You're putting pressure on me, man. I'm getting stressed.
Who are you even rooting for here? I'm confused.
G2. G2 should be matching up a lot better against EG. I don't think. Listen, the fact is they don't have Kesnet. EG don't have Kesnet. You're running the buzzer again. I still got time. Don't run the buzzer on me.
You
here.
need to push your glasses.
You're screwing me here, production. I still got time. Stop running the buzzer, man. I don't think I'm winning.
That is actually the buzzer. Yeah.
I don't think I'm
Well, I think
winning.
you spent about 25 out of 30 seconds complaining about
I got
the
flustered.
buzzer.
Too slow. Sleepy bread.
Sleepy bread. All right, so we might need to break this tie in some way. Let's take a minute to check in with one of our swing voters down in the audience. I don't know what that means, but I mean, it'll make sense when you see this guy. Let's head down to the audience. Here we have Chuck Michelson from Wichita, Kansas. Chuck, yeah, how you going? Look, we might need you to break the tie here. What's your thoughts on whether this G2 style will work better against EG or not?
Oh, well, hello there. I would consider myself a swing voter. I haven't picked a team in the last few years, but I would consider it my civic duty to decide today between EG and G2. I feel like I'm just caught between two great candidates. They both had such compelling arguments, especially the one with the mustache on the left.
Thank you. Yes,
so,
I agree.
Tell me, what to you is the most important issue in this vote? Like, how would you be swayed?
Oh, well, I have one issue that's very important to me. I would consider their views on the industrialized roster jail complex in this country.
Make it quick.
Support, full support. Love it.
I hate jail. I hate roster locks. I think it should be a free, open system. Any player can go anywhere at any point in time. Any player can go anywhere at any time.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that, Brad. I wouldn't take that.
I don't think I'm welcome here.
Our coaches are ready for Matt Picks and Bed, so let's find out where we're headed today. Let me get this one uploaded real quick, boys. Let's find out.
Earnings check. How much?
Hey guys, welcome. As you know, sides were decided via coin flip. So G2 is Team A and EG is Team B. G2, you will have first map ban.
We'll ban Lotus.
G2 ban Lotus. What would you like to ban?
We'll ban Bind.
EG ban Bind. And you have first map pick.
We'll pick Sunset.
G2 picks Sunset. And would you like attack or defense?
We'll pick defense.
EG pick defense, and you have one map pick.
We'll pick Icebox.
EG pick Icebox. Would you like attack or defense?
Attack.
G2 pick attack, and you have one map ban.
We'll ban Breeze.
G2 ban Breeze, and what would you like to ban?
We'll ban Ascent.
EG ban Ascent, the cider map is split. And would you like attack or defense?
We'll take defense.
G2 pick defense. All right, best of luck today.
All right, let's wrap up this pre-show and get right to it. It's going to be Evil Geniuses versus G2. Day 6 of VCT Americas starts right now.
Yes.
And they are being met with G2. Your players towards the back. Leaf and Valin respond in kind.
Oh, he's just adding bodies to the count. Jorgamo unleashing fury.
He's ridiculous today. It's still planted though, but this is such an odd scenario. They are aware of this, surely. That no, for they don't know the trend's there.
Net baited for Trent. I think this is going to be the play.
Has to be insurance policy away. G2 take it. The Ascension team paves the way.
The feeling on stage and the first day, it was amazing. Next up is EG. All the players have been in the scene for a while. One player that'll be surprising for a lot of fans is Nature on EG. I think he has incredible mechanics. I could see him really turning up this year.
Nature pulled out the one. Tig looking to fight back. There goes Nature. Nature!
We all know how they play individually. Comparing one-to-one, like each player, my team and their team, we're individually better.
There's still a 3 versus 3. ADS 2, Jonah P. In the moment here, they're doubled up. It is some semblance of awareness. Jonah P. still there, and there it is.
You know, just winning rounds and getting kills, getting an ace, and having the crowd cheering feels amazing, and look forward to, just reliving this experience for the rest of the year.
Riot Games Arena, join me in welcoming to the stage, G2! And on the other side of the stage, 2023 World Champions, Evil Geniuses! That's right, folks. You can support your favorite team with these fantastic VCT team capsules. There's got a classic Gun Buddy player card and much more. Some fantastic art brought by some of these teams. And half the profits go to these teams. So if you're a Jorgamo fan, you're a Potter fan, well, you heard them already. Get involved and show your support in-game. Gentlemen, we have here two sides of one of the most compelling coins in Valorant right now. One of the longest-lived cores in Americas going up against a team brought together at the last moment, given one directive: step into the fire and be forged into something greater. Try and go all the way. G2, with their roots deep, going up against this EG project. It's ambitious, to say the least.
Absolutely. This is something that's going to be difficult for them because, they're trying to pull against the team that got the best seed here. The team that only needs 2 wins to go forward. And G2 coming all the way from challengers last year. They definitely got a lot to prove on this stage. And I think going up against the former champions, despite all the change, is still a big test.
Yeah, big test indeed. I mean, listen, in Valorant, what we've seen so far in America is there's amazing amounts of parity between all the teams. Anyone can really win on a given day is what it feels like. And sometimes that individuality shines through for some of the teams and it will grant them that win. Now for EG, I think one of the benefits they've got coming into this is that a lot of these players now, they're on a roster where generally, I think the expectations should be set quite low, and they are for them. They're not coming into this with people expecting them to be world beaters. A lot of people were questioning why they were even the heavy seed to begin with if the roster wasn't even intact and it's just Jorgamo and Potter basically remaining, right? But I think these players can come into this as a fresh start. They've been given a second lease on life. Even Derek was saying at points, you know, he's tweeting saying he realizes more than anyone he probably didn't deserve to have a second chance in Tier 1, but they've got that chance now, and it's about grasping it at the right time, right moment, and it's right here and now. Like you said, Bala, 2 wins against EG, or any of these teams right now at this point, to Madrid.
Yeah, and I think it's important, too, because last year it was not at all like that, right? You start a whole split, basically, and that's the amount that they had to work through, and that's how long it took for them to really get to anywhere fruitful. Now it's just this right here. You got to start strong right off the bat.
Straight away, a Cypher locked in for net there. Probably no surprises. Superman bringing the Omen out. Nothing out of the ordinary so far, gents.
You heard Potter talk about controllers sometimes a boring role, but that's what Superman fills, and he's been great in the past on that role. It's just about finding his footing, finding his comfort zone, and I think they've actually put together a team that should do that for him, right? He's playing with former teammates in Derek. He's playing on a team, I think, that should be very welcoming for him.
I'm really curious as to what they've got cooked up. They're going to be playing something standard, I think, for this map, which is Sunset, right?
Yeah.
Coming into first, so... Yeah, if there's going to be anything unusual. One of the big indicators, I think, as well, that the team hasn't had a lot of time is the initiator picks, but Nature's going over to the Breach.
Yeah.
Might be some... when I see teams still opting into Sky comps, I think it shows that it's a map they haven't put a lot of time into, because of the Sky changes coming in so recently, they haven't had time to adjust a lot of their comps.
Yeah.
So that's what I really pay attention to a lot of time, and you see those comps getting outvalued, but I'm seeing a fade online. I don't know who's picking out on the other side of things, so it's Derek playing the fade. So listen, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far early on from just the EG comp-wise. Of course, we haven't seen this team play yet. We don't know what to expect in terms of when they're in the server, but they do have another advantage, which is actually seeing one of the VODs for G2. They've seen them play on this map versus Crew. They should know what the weaknesses are in G2's play. And when they played against Crew, G2 really struggled with contact mid plays. Crew were constantly abusing that straight up mid, up the gut in Sunset, and constantly getting away with murder on that map. Despite the fact that G2 did come back and win it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, G2 were giving up mid voluntarily to some degree, right? They spread across the sites and Crew just cut noise entirely. They had no idea where they were going to be coming from.
Yeah, that led to Kessner getting some fantastic lurks at some points as well. This is a very interesting one. You're right. They saw the VOD, or they saw the Sova here. They know how to adjust the Cypher trips, for example. And I think when you think about the meta, it's really interesting because there's a new team. They aren't set in their ways anymore.
Right, Games Arena, you ready to jump into this one or what? Without further ado, it's time to head over to our casters, a grizzled veteran and a fresh-faced rookie. You guess which one is which. It's Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much. Great to be back in the booth. We've got a banger of a matchup today, Dre, and I think there's a lot of talk about this EG roster. How good are they? How good, how bad are they? Are they going to be able to compete? Where are the expectations? I'm kind of hearing that this roster is actually quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, I made it very far in these trials with EG, and let me tell you that they had a lot of structure already when I was doing those trials, and I'm glad of the players that made this team. Superman, fantastic player. Everybody knows that I played with him for like the last 2 years of my career.
Yeah.
And he's like such a good teammate, one of the best teammates I ever had. He's willing to do anything. You heard it from Potter herself. Perfect role player, bro.
And that's really all you could ask for in a situation like this. G2 on the attacking side. Evil Geniuses in their first match of Kickoff with an opportunity to silence the new kids on the block. Remember, G2 joining the fun as the 2023 Ascension winners. Running this early comp on Sunset. You've got that Viper wall splitting the site in half. The deep dart already cleared out. Not much else going on for EG so far.
Absolutely. This is something you're going to see a lot in this matchup right now is EG fighting for this A control, keeping the fade there, recycling utility, having the breach stuns there. Looks like APO's going to get first contact here in mid.
I mean, instantly right on cue, that fault line out from Nature to challenge that fight, set his teammate up. And you already see, you were just talking about the reusable utility. That's already a factor in this situation.
Absolutely. G2 now, understanding that they baited out the breach stun. They can go for the hit now. Very important.
Yeah, they have a little time window here in which they could do that. The refreshing of the smokes already, and then you've got the trip and the cam on the other side.
Poison's on.
But Net baiting out the rotations from EG, and that causes the mid push here.
30 seconds left.
B's completely open, Doug.
They should know that that's a case here too. You see the drone clearing out the trip. They start to wake their way out onto the site. The spike planted, and you already see some hesitation and some concern on the flank that could be coming. You've got Apoth who's sitting just on the other side of spawn. 2 members from G2 concerned and ready. You've got a trip to deal with as well. The Haunt's going to come up over the top. And now Evil Genius is sort of creeping their way out onto the site. Trent catches the timing perfectly. Wow! As Leaf gets another one. I don't know how you get away with kills like that when you're stunned, but either way, numbers advantage in favor of G2. A 4v3 as the spike ticks away. VALORANT gets 2 massive kills. Superman falls. G2 get the pistol.
Clean post plant from G2 and good awareness of that lurk. I don't know if that's prep or just previous scrims, but being aware that Apoth likes to go for that late flank. Perfect from Trent there, getting him off guard.
Well, I mean, they were so ready for it too. It wasn't just Trent. It wasn't just Trent who was sitting there watching. You saw VALORANT was looking back for a little bit, expecting that flank, and they read it perfectly. So an excellent start for G2. They burned the clock a little bit. They baited out a lot of utility and then decided where they wanted to strike.
But look at this, Doug. This is looking like a trap play on the B main. Omen flash, breach stun off of contact. We saw this yesterday.
Oh, there it is, the cam shift spot. And you said it just right. They've got the nade that's going to push out as well. Jogamo does get a little bit of damage done, finds some value. Nature still playing here.
Leaf sitting on 13 HP and VALORANT sitting on 48 HP.
I mean, this setup was brutal to deal with. Ultimately, they were able to navigate their way through. The gun advantage helping out here for sure. Drone out as Superman has to take a slight step back. Derek rotating over.
Not trying to cut any corners is G2. They don't want to lose any more guns into this round, Doug. They have all the info now. Fade and spawn. Bomb's going down right now.
Oh! It wasn't even a double face. I thought there'd be a little help over the top, and Derek did some damage.
Wow.
Jonah P avoids disaster.
And that's a W round right here from EG.
They drop
4 guns out?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Vandal save from Jonah P though. Full buy. Coming in from both teams. This is something you don't really see often, Doug. No bonus round here from G2, opting to just go straight away.
One down. Spike down B. Last player
Replay one more time. As Jonah P.
Nice!
Managed to save what could have been a rough start to things, all things considered. Back into the action. You see no ults really online anytime soon. You mentioned the full buy on both sides. Light armor for everyone on the side of G2 here. And this is a big, I mean, yeah, they had to invest because they lost so many, but they've got Bulldogs, they've got Vandals. Really the whole way.
Very dangerous round. Is EG aware? That is the question. Are they aware of the full buy? Or are they thinking there's just one Vandal on the board for G2?
Early haunt out from Derek.
Good spam.
Yeah, the first piece of resistance.
Here comes the info.
Dog catching on one, the fadeaway onto Trend as he has utility caught out and leaves there to punish. They've established control on elbow. EG now scrambling to try to get back towards A.
They just cut noise, Doug. Getting a raise rocket. This could be huge into this round. Re-aggro coming here from EG onto this elbow area.
I mean, a bonus here would be a dream start for G2.
Oh, but this is huge here, Doug.
So Stopper invested, clearing every little angle he can. No resistance will be found. And the spike is still not out. 30 seconds it's still left. Just now making its way over to the site. You wonder if G2 are going to want to take this fight into spawn. They're crept real far up. The dart on the other side of the smoke as it dissipates. The swing comes out from Jogamo. VALORANT's there to greet him. Leaf joining in on it as he gets 3 on the round. That should be it unless Apoth can pull off a miracle. Ned and Leaf both weak. So it's not out of the realms of possible, but Ned saves it. G2 with a massive 3-round lead early on.
Very, very doable, but nevertheless, G2 looking great. They understood from that re-clear utility onto elbow, that breach flash, that they were going to leave the site. And Leaf looking really good at the start of this game so far.
And, you know, there was a lot of conversation last time we saw this team play about, you know, does Leaf feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Is he going to be slotting into this roster well? Because it wasn't the Leaf that we expected or at least grown to know. This feels much more like the Leaf we saw last year.
And you know what is so dangerous about this G2 roster is I feel like they didn't have Trent online. They didn't have Leaf online for their last matchup against Crew. And they still won, beating a Kesnet who was going absolutely Super Saiyan mode on them. So if these guys play even half of how they normally play,
this is going to be a very hard game, an uphill battle for EG.
That hill's already 3 rounds high with the potential for more. You see the buy for the defensive side. It's just pistols. They don't have nearly as much firepower on the other side of this.
I want to point out how cautious G2 is on these eco rounds. They're really trying not to get ecoed. It's so important because getting ecoed in a game like this just ruins all momentum, ruins your economy. It is not a good feeling for you in game. And it looks like they're ready for every single piece of aggression that EG has been throwing their way so far.
And it feels like such a testament to Valen and his calling style. You know, there were interviews last week about how it feels like he's just micromanaging every single chess piece on the board. And you see how that discipline, I think that's what that results in. But Superman able to get one onto Valen. I'm not really sure. And they've got it over there. He's got a second with the classic. Not able to convert on the third. A little bit of damage has been done, though. Financially, G2 should be in good straits, assuming they can win the round, and that's far from a guarantee. A clean snap out from Trent to get things to a 1v2. Nature trying to isolate the gunfights. 42 HP left. They're both going to hit him at just the right time. Trent gets the third. G2 continue to roll.
Superman finding such an insane timing on that flank, making it costly for G2. But G2 so good with these trades right now.
Yeah. Again, the discipline, that they play so well together. And, you know, again, I want to go back to the conversation we were having with Valen last week about how they have to grind through some of this stuff. And ultimately, in his opinion, it makes the team better. They're better bonded. They're more cohesive in their attempts. And you saw some of that there.
Definitely did. Look, another slow pace round from G2.
Meanwhile, on the side of EG, you've got an op in the hands of Superman. Don't know if there's going to be a challenge early on, as G2 seem to be focused on establishing some control across the middle of the map.
Fought looking to grab this aggro line. Cam spots him. They know that Omen is opting on B now. What is the reaction from G2? Looks like they're going to work up mid. Very smart.
Nature has a fault line here, but he's really kind of on his own. You've got Superman who's joining the fray very quickly. That's an op up close. And that's not the right weapon in that situation. You see Leaf trying to satchel back and create some space. He cannot. Ultimately falling, but G2 still with the numbers advantage. The site is entirely open.
So clean from G2. Leaf going up on the box, making Superman have to look at multiple different angles with that op. Almost securing the trade, and the Sobalt coming in as well on contact. Just to seal the deal. Fatal invested here. I don't know if I agree with this, Doug.
Yeah, it's not going to tag anyone either. But they follow the carpet that has been laid. Derek looking for any target he can find. The dart has been cleared out. No ults on the side of G2 to have to worry about here. That they're going to have to get through the defenses that are posted up back in hand. And so far they've done just that, unless Jonah P can be the hero once more. Derek's gotten it to half, and that's all it's going to be. Jonah P with 3, G2 gets a 5.
Wow. And Jonah P not missing a beat. Bringing on his momentum from his last series. He was the MVP of that game. And he's looking great right now. Honestly, G2 as a whole, looking really on point.
Yeah, they look really clean.
And look at that.
There's that high angle you were talking about.
And that Sobalt coming up.
One enemy remaining.
Beautiful shots from Jonah P to close out the round.
I'm coming. Wait. Ready?
Honestly,
nice, Jonah.
For a 3v4 retake, it looked good for a little bit from EG. Good utility. Breach C to get the guy from map out. Raise nade to get the guy from the close right cubby out. And I agree with this pause. It's perfect timing. Maybe a little bit of nerves throughout the team. First match on LAN.
And you're down, what, 0-5?
Yeah.
That's good reason to take a break for just a moment and try to settle things. Meanwhile, on the side of G2, I think, again, there were a lot of questions about how they performed last time we saw them on stage and how it was maybe a little rocky. And yeah, Kesnet was a man possessed the last time we saw him on stage. But this G2 squad, I know it's early, but it does seem like they improve map over map. And that's a very confident sign. That's a very good sign if you're a fan of G2.
And you notice that their whole game plan right now is to bait out that breach utility, bait out all the fade utility from Derek. And just work the map really slow. Good reaction. They see that the op is in B main, and then they go up top mid because they know the rotate won't make it there in time. It's great, but really good ults up here for EG.
Yeah, just don't have much guns to work with. So one issue, you've got 3 Stingers, light armor on 4. Superman.
Another trap play this time. Wanting them to be a little bit more committed.
Get him.
I wonder if he's going to try to find a late timing through mid like we saw a couple of rounds ago. There's the paranoia, and Apoth is going very aggressive. The nade over the top. You've got the breach utility that's throwing them all over the place. Now you have the neural theft to consider as well.
That was a great counter flash from Valen to deny that aggro. And there it is. G2 aware that Derek likes to play this elbow area. I think he's played it almost every round so far.
Yeah. Even going all the way back to the pistol.
Great punish.
Getting a really good read on the situation now. Leaf is the only one who's kind of lagging back while EG are sending all of their members through mid.
And how often do you see a solo Raze holding the lurk? Usually the Razes are the entries, but
yeah, they're the ones on site.
This is unpredictable right here.
And the trip is going to give things away.
Yeah.
He doesn't know yet, but Leaf should get a gorgeous timing on this.
And I wonder if G2 is doing this on purpose. They want him to hunt for these kills because he's already close to another showstopper.
Yeah, you're right. He's only 3 points away. He might not get the opportunity, though. It might end up being Ned who's going to have to deal with the three-man pressure waiting on the other side of this wall. There's the trip. The first falls to flash in the face. Does it better as he gets a second. Not a ton of time here. Nature's going to upgrade a weapon. That's another round for G2. I mean, this snowball just keeps rolling, man.
Yeah. And when in doubt, spray it out, you know? Full blind there. He's holding mouse one his net. If I was G2, I would have loved to get an orb on Lee for Trent, who would have had his Viper ult up for this round. Still good. I mean, and the second one.
I don't know how he gets away with that.
There it is.
6 rounds in a row for G2. An opportunity perhaps for Evil Geniuses to stifle some of that now. Op in the hands of Superman once more. And as you mentioned in the previous round, Dre, some good ults to work with. Dude, this wall just counters any early eye here.
Yeah, a little bit more aggression here, though. With the Raze being here, they are going to fight this. Jogamo getting first contact.
And getting the first kill, but G2 instantly respond.
Look at the trades.
Nature has to take a step back. You got Superman who's joined and commits the ult. Remember, he's the one who has the op. As Nature's trying to dance around blind and deaf and not able to hear a thing, having to deal with the nade at his feet, and then having to deal with Leaf 2. Not gonna connect. The shot from Superman is clean though, and he gets away. With the rocket at his feet, somehow stays alive, but even through those heroics, EG find themselves outnumbered and outgunned yet again.
And that's just so tough for Superman there. Knows he has to get another kill to even the players out. He gets punished for it. Jonah P never gonna miss those shots. Not when he's this dialed in.
No. I mean, the start to the season that he's had has been ridiculous. Yeah. They are gonna pick up the op though and get away. Apoth will carry it into the next round. G2 will get to 7. And it really just feels like they're doing whatever they want on this map.
Yeah. And again, punishing that A aggression from EG. And to be fair, EG they have to take control of something when you have this breach comp.
Yeah, for sure.
You cannot just stay stagnant. So I like what they're trying to do. It's just the execution is just not there at the moment. Could be from nerves, could be from, honestly, G2 just being on point right now. Trying to prove something.
And they've made quite the statement early on. You see some of that early aggression that you were just talking about. And there's an attempt. You saw Nature's fault line there. Tried
it was a little late.
Yeah, it was just a second late. So the ideas are there, as you were just mentioning, Dre. It's execution. It feels like that's what's lacking. See what they're able to do here. Superman has the op once more. Maybe this will be it. Early Satchel here. He's going to get aggressive.
Is he going to rock it? Nice little set play, but look at G2. Dude, they're all in spawn.
I mean, they freaking read it.
They're so aware.
They had the suck, they had the rocket, they had everything there.
5 people, and they haven't left T-spawn. And what is that angle from Superman?
Where is he?
I did not even know you could see spawn from here. And Trent still challenging.
Okay.
Even he was confused. Where'd that shot come from?
I think we all were.
Cheeky little set play.
So the op finding some value. It was off of the early aggression. I'd love to see that set play one more time because it seemed like there were a lot of layers to it. It looked like there was the fault line. Yeah, the raised rocket, the suck, everything was there. And then allowing Superman to reposition. And, you know, you mentioned it at the beginning. It felt like G2 was prepared.
Yeah.
They were playing back in spawn. They knew something was afoot, and it's Still, it finds us in a 3v3.
It's so crazy that EG had an extra layer on top of that. They knew that that they're pushing the enemy team all the way back into spawn, and then they have Superman posted up on that top box that can see deep into spawn when they back up. It was really sick to watch that, and they're cooking with that.
30 seconds left.
Apoth is in a really good position here, but remember, he's just got a stinger. From that distance, well, never mind. The distance works. He's got ult. Does he commit? He does. Just Net and Jonah P on their own. Jonah P with ult, but really not in a position to do anything with it. 3 HP as he's been battered, he's been beaten, but he's now the last one standing. EG finally find themselves on the board.
Yeah. Momentum. Here we go. EG gonna be hype after winning that round.
It took a lot. I really hope we get to see that set piece again.
Yeah, I really want to see this angle from Superman on their top box, because that really set up the end of the round there.
Oh, 1,000%.
Look at this angle, man. Oh, we didn't get to see it, but that was sick.
Unlucky.
There it is. Hype coming out from the EG squad. Jogamo smiling. That's dangerous for G2.
There's still
when
a long...
you see that man smiling.
Yeah, there's still a long road to recovery here, though.
Yeah.
Still down 6 rounds. You've got a ton of money on the side of G2. A couple of key ults online. They've got a lot of things at their disposal.
And if I'm G2 right here, I'm just trying to get that bomb down, get the Viper ult down. Whatever it takes, I can invest my soul vault into this.
Wow. A little aggressive out from Leaf, trying to punish on the tag.
But across the map, Trent besting Derek again. And that opens up the entire map. All info gathered now. And they're leaving the lurk here.
They might know, though. That nade. Wow. Yeah, he was done. Jonah P had nowhere to go.
Spike planted.
Meanwhile, again, on the other side of the map, the pit has been invested, the spike has been planted, Nature does have a Rolling Thunder. Valorant's in a good spot to potentially hit a late flank. You're gonna have to deal with Apoth's trip. But for now, you imagine EG, given how dry this half has been for them, are gonna invest everything they can to make it happen. The satchel straight into the pit. Jogamo looking to find the prize. Targeted, no! Trent stunned, gets him back. Nature on the trade, though. 3v1 now. Net's gonna have to do it on his own. He's gotten it down to a 1v1. The cage, Net, cool, calm, collected, but Apoth is sticking it the whole way. He stops, gets to half. He had it the whole time. Oh, but stops.
Oh no. Net so happy he won the 1v1. He didn't even run out of the bomb range.
I mean, he had the defuse. Had he stuck it, they win the round.
I think that's just a little bit first match nerves coming from the rookie.
Surely we get a replay of that one. Evil Geniuses calls the timeout, and that's going to give us a chance to take a look at this once more. Yeah, this was really nice. The drone tagged the member who was trying to get away out towards Market, and Leaf went out to punish, who's just greeted with an op on the other side. This is nuts. Trent with the pit finding it. And Apoth, man, to have that back.
He was so close. So close on that defuse. And again, I think this is really just nerves from the side of EG. I think they're overthinking. You know, Apoth had it down to right. Second guesses himself at the very last moment.
You know when you're trying to like sneak a defuse though, those last 2 seconds,
it's tough.
It feels like an eternity.
It's tough. He hears him running at him the entire time. It's tough, but he had no time. He had to stick it. Honestly, it was a great trade onto Trent in that Viper ult.
Yeah,
who got unstunned.
Yep.
He could have gotten 3 there easily. So you see it, EG is playing together. They are trying things, but just not coming out on top in these clutch moments. And Superman on this op, he's actually been hitting some nice shots.
Yeah, he has. He's back on the judge now, though. Not going to be a factor here. Perhaps something aggressive. You got Superman playing up very close on the barrier. The smoke to cross. Forget about crossing. He's just going to go in.
And this is so oppressive.
Are they expecting it? 2 fouled. The third falls. Spam on the other side ends up being his demise.
Beautiful from Supa.
I have the spike.
And man, I think I've seen this guy do this play about like 10 times in scrims and it has never failed.
Yeah, you've been on the receiving end of it a few times too.
I was on the receiving end of it, I can confirm, and it was not fun. It's never fun getting killed by the judge.
No.
And then the third through the smoke.
Yeah, that
he's
feels
just
bad.
spamming at that point, you know?
Yeah, that feels bad.
Rubbing dirt on the wound. See if they can bring this back, though. A 2v5 would be insane.
I mean, they've got the guns for it. And they're deep behind enemy lines. Apoth is timing. He's going to find everything he can want. The fall line there to drop Jonah P. Net once again left against the world. The dink onto Apoth looking for more. A judge and a sheriff. And that's all it takes. EG punch back.
Nice.
Things are a funny thing.
Nice. And if I'm EG right now, every round matters. It doesn't matter if you're getting blown out.
Oh,
you
for
need
sure.
to win as many as you can just to have something going into the next map. And they're not out of this by any means, don't get me wrong.
Last player standing.
But it does look like that G2 is just on another level. Mechanically,
Nice, let's go, Derek.
strategically at the moment. I like that. I like the energy that I'm hearing from EG.
Yeah, feeling a little loose.
Go. A lot of mid aggro, and Giacomo just sneaks into here, Doug.
I mean, Apoth is close by as well, but they aren't really in a position where they can help each other. Meanwhile, Derek is finding success. You know, he had been picked on a couple of times back there. Superman's finding 2. You mentioned that any round is a good one for Evil Geniuses. This seems like another one.
Superman is just a LAN animal. I've got to see the pleasure of this guy playing in international lands all over the world, China, Brazil, on my team. I know what this guy can bring to the table, and he's stepping up big for his team right now. That veteran experience.
We'll see if Net and Jonah P can do anything to respond. It's all into Jonah P now. Remember the heroics. Remember the massive moments he's had so far. Potentially the makings of another one, but he doesn't realize they're going to challenge him. Oh, he heard the jump. He knows they're there. But Derek shuts him down.
Derek, too sharp.
Last round.
Great ults coming online for EG. 4 ults. Raise Rocket, Fade ult. Omen TP for the quick rotate. Here's the replay, Superman.
Oh, wow.
Perfect timing on that swing.
Yeah.
One enemy remaining.
That's the Superman we want to see.
That's the Superman Evil Geniuses need.
Boys. Let's do.
Doesn't have to be pretty, as long as it works.
Yeah.
Take a look at that. A Nightfall, aggressive early. 2 Prowlers used to try to push them off of that A main control.
Nobody on B at all.
No, but I think the thing is, EG did a really good job of concealing how many people were part of that early trap, because they're still thinking there's somebody on B. That's why they invested the showstopper. That's why they're a bit timid and rolling out onto the site to begin with.
What kind of post plant do we see here? We have been seeing G2 playing out quite a bit with Leaf playing in alone.
Yeah.
He gets spotted out here, though.
EG still have...
Interesting smoke.
EG still have Giacomo's ult. Right on cue has been used. Leaf's tucked! Leaf's tucked! Oh, but he's gotten into the smoke! How much more can he get away with? Doesn't sound like the rocket found any value, but Giacomo continues to push! 2 fall! Valen on the swing out! What a response from EG!
A slow start, but winning back-to-back rounds here. And Giacomo really heating up. That's the job we know from last year.
Sides.
That's the champion, the spray down.
Dude, him getting into that smoke, you think about it, if he gets popped by Leaf at the very beginning, he doesn't get those 3 kills. And it's an entirely different situation. It does not sound like we're going to get to look at that one more time. We're actually going to throw it down to Sideshow, who's hanging out at the Telestrator to break down a little something.
Thank you very much, Doug. Yeah, this half was kind of defined by a bit of a comeback towards the end there from EG, but also a lot of mistakes at the beginning. So I want to break this one down. It's the round 3 force, and we're taking a look from EG's perspective as Derek tries to hold on to elbow control. And I feel like the beginning rounds, whether it was due to nerves or whether it was due to inexperience, had a lot of moments like this. Derek doesn't anticipate how quickly he's going to get pushed there, and you see Leaf just swing around the corner straight into his face as he's trying to get a seize online. Not anticipating the pace of G2. Let's move over onto round 5. Again, rifles online. This is insanely important this round. It has so much momentum in the series. If you've seen what happened just there, the trip got broken. And again, this is from EG's perspective. They can't see all of the minimap, and so it falls on some of these players to go back and take a look over towards mid. And the protocol is really, really slow. I'll wind it back just so that you can see that trip. Trip gets broken, and immediately They're a bit slow, bit tentative. It's the Omen that goes to clear it. Whoa, there's way too many people in their face there. This is the eco round that they tried to run as well, this trap play, where they've got the Paranoia coming through, a stun coming through as well. Apoth trying to run onto it and see if he can make the play happen. And you see how far he's got to run to try to make that play work. So overall, EG had a little bit of, I think, nerves and inexperience at the start of this game that were leading to multiple moments where they gave away cheap kills to G2 at the start of rounds. The more that they can tighten that up, the more that they can actually work on making sure that the gaps aren't given away right at the start, they'll have better approaches in these rounds and they'll be able to go toe-to-toe with them. You already saw that towards the end of the half where they were able to pick up, 4 rounds apart from the one where Superman gets a ridiculous kill with the operator earlier on. So that's my focus coming into the next, is those early round fights. I'll send you back over to Doug and Baby Bay.
Many thanks to the mustachioed menace that is Sideshow. Really, he hit all the major points. I think he put it together really well. EG winning 4 of the last 5 rounds to close out the half, keeping this thing competitive because it had all of the makings of getting out of hand.
Yeah, this pistol round's so important.
Going out.
Already leaning towards this A. A little bit of mid control though.
I don't think that dart tagged anyone. There was a dart that hit back A main where 3 members of EG are, and I don't think it tagged anyone because of that one way.
They all had hit in the one way.
Yeah, a little bit of false info, and that should give EG a lot of room to work with A.
And it does look like it. Oh, but EG's second guessing themselves. Now's the timing they need to take.
Unawares of what's waiting on the other side. Meanwhile, it seems like a fight is afoot across mid. Leaf closing the door. Derek understanding there's at least somebody close by. They're putting so much respect into the middle of the map. You got Valen, who's waiting almost by spawn. And you're right, I don't know what it was that EG saw or felt or read, but there's enough hesitation and enough doubt to where they could be very well missing this window they had.
It's so slow. Derek purposely showing his position in mid to keep people there.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be a post plant versus retake, 5v5. How much value can Derek get in this mid flank?
That much. A 2K.
Couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, answering the question at just the right time. He's being surrounded, a bit overwhelmed. Just Trent cleans him up.
And he did good damage. Net sitting at 55 HP, Trent armor gone. 1-shot headshot range for anybody with a ghost.
Superman, who's had the hot hand, is going to be the first they have to deal with. The paranoia and then the smoke nature from over the top cleans up with 2 of his own. Valen left alone. Time is of the essence. It's not on his side. He's going to have to make a move if he wants to pull this thing off. Dancing around the fault line, but not able to dance around the spam from Apoth.
Just like that, we got a game on our hands, Doug.
They're keeping it close, man. Again, 4 of the last 5 to close out the half. The pistol, all of a sudden, that 0-7 lead that G2 had at the beginning feels like a distant memory.
Nice shots from Derek, heating up. What are those? Through the smoke, just spamming into CT. Nature got 2. Yeah. Potter hype now. What kind of anti-eco are we going to see into this round? Are we going to see some aggro mid? Are they going to wait for aggression from G2?
We had our fair share of thrifties yesterday.
I don't know what it is with teams and just stacking early B on their anti-ecos on this defense side.
Does seem to happen a fair amount, and that's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah. EG looks aware, though. Are they going to dog into here or just hold off a contact?
They're just waiting. You imagine there's a pop on the other side of the trip. Superman, not phased. Beat him. Unreal.
This is not the player you want warming up against you.
No. No, not when he's had the last couple of rounds. He's had a flawless round for EG.
Okay. Okay, Superman.
What's he up to now?
17 and 10.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they are just eco kills, right? Like, he's supposed to win those gunfights.
Sure.
But the momentum that gives you as a player, man, like, if I'm getting those 3 kills, I'm feeling good going into every single round after this.
Yeah, 1000%.
And I can take over at that point, so.
A Bucky for Jogamo.
Airplane Bucky.
What is the plan here? A heavy stack towards B. I mean, everyone is here.
Look, very slow play. First 2 rounds now. EG going for the B pop on this bonus round. Changing the pace. It's the fastest round they've had so far.
That early smoke does such a good job at dissuading some of the early aggression. Leaf there to clean up APOP. You've got the dart back sight to confirm that players are out. But they're really hasty with this. There's the Bucky. Not able to find anything. Leaf keeps him back. Jogamo and Superman were enough to be handled. And now Derek's left alone. One onto the Guardian. Leaf and Valen both weak. I don't know if they're going to be weak enough, though. There's still so much for Derek to deal with. He's got the spike in hand, and again, the discipline out from G2, not giving him any ones, not swinging out recklessly.
And this is Trent just literally yelling in comms. I'm behind. Just wait.
Yeah, I got the time. Can Derek find anything else?
Look at this discipline.
It's so impressive. Not an inch being moved. Wow. And that's exactly the right play.
Fundamentals. That's what G2 was talking about. So Valen was saying in his interview. Just because we are a core for such a long time and we already have fundamentals doesn't mean that we're going to shy away from finding new ones.
Read for me.
And I honestly like the aggression from EG.
Oh, 1,000%.
But the utility was just not there in time. Or it wasn't correct. I saw a breach flash come out, but by that time, Superman and Jaw were already dead.
It's too little too late.
Another 5-man here. Opting to take fast elbow control with satchels.
The paranoia on the left side. And you're right, a little bit pacey that way.
But 4 people already here from the likes of G2.
They didn't get the first trip from Ned either, so that's something they're going to have to deal with. The drone re-clearing elbow. It's going to be a little bit of confidence for Trent to at least throw a little shoulder.
I like that G2 isn't scared to take the space after the utility, even though they're aware that EG could be behind it, hiding. And there's the Omen flash.
Oh, and they're going to swing out behind it. They're going to catch him. Yeah, Superman's done. Very nicely timed. The one problem is they had no control across the middle of the map. So Apoth is in their spawn.
Apoth was serious lurk timing, but
there's no way they know. They can't know.
Oh my gosh, there's a world.
Can Leaf and Jonah P do it? They're so separated right now. And there's really no way for Jonah P to get out. He's left on an island. Reinforcements are as far away as they could possibly be. But as the time ticks away, the reinforcements get closer and closer to arriving. Unaware of where he could be. He finds value onto the first, waiting for the launch onto a second, and it's clean.
Down A.
Derek in a clutch situation.
They don't know where he is.
The element of surprise on his side. Jonah P is going to get cleaned up.
Fatal online.
13 seconds left. The spike's not in hand. He's going to have to get onto this. He's going to have to do it quickly. And Derek does. The Red Bull clutch for EG.
And that is all off of Apoth. Taking that mid control, as you said. Finding the window. Derek closing out the round.
Reply destroyed.
And what looked like disaster for EG, they end up bringing it back. That pre-fire from Jonah P was sick, but Derek just closing out the clutch. And all momentum has been shifted. Oh, I heard something there.
It was a cold response too. You got to remember, I mean, Derek made his name on clutch moments just like that. And it was something that, quite frankly, was lacking the last time we saw him on the stage. So it's good to see him get back into those big moments and be able to execute on them. Still find themselves down 2 rounds, though. For G2, they've got a stinger in the hands of Leaf, but rifles. Other than that, EG have gotten onto A. Apoth is dead.
Very smart from G2 to fully clear flank there, not letting Apoth get those shenanigans up mid again. That's a pretty fast adaptation to be made.
They still haven't committed to the plant.
Wow.
It's still in hand. Leaf is causing just enough delay with the ult. Ultimately, it was Valen who cleans it up, but they find the value they're looking for as the spike sits harmlessly on the site. Superman cannot convert. Leaf with 3 and G2 gets a 10.
That was a very heads-up play from G2. Clearing out Apoth in mid. They don't want to deal with that mid shenanigan. And then going for the fast retake this time with Rocket. And Leaf having a great performance right now.
I think you see it here, how much chaos and how much pressure Leaf was able to apply just by his presence. I mean, just the fact that they had the ult, right? He could not commit, Jogmo could not commit to getting the spike down. It bought just enough time for them to flood out, as you were just mentioning. Now EG with a less than stellar buy to work with.
One off a breach ult though, and it looks like they will be picking this up maybe as the hit is coming through after the breach ult to have breach ult for the post plant. Free sight again, and the airplane Bucky in full effect.
Remember, he's tried this already. Previously, it was with Superman TPing forward with him. This time does not have that by his side. Net patient with it. The Bucky once again goes down with a whimper. They invest the Rolling Thunder. Wow. They're going to push into this. Look at how far up Apop is. The Stinger's great. Nature gets another one with his own utility. Upgrades the weapon and punishes the third. But Trent on the counter. Nature now left alone. Nothing but a classic in hand. But the spike planted 20 HP.
Only a classic.
It went over him. He's going to find the timing. Oh my gosh. Can Nature get away with murder?
Airplane Bucky.
Upgrades the Bucky, but the knife is out, and that's the wrong weapon there. Unreal.
What a recovery from G2 because of the likes of Trent getting 2 through smoke. And what a great push from EG. I was confused too. I'm like, oh, we're in a 3v5, 3v4. We're committing this ult.
Honestly, as soon as I heard the ult, I was concerned, but then I saw Apop's positioning. He was so far up. The swing was great. And honestly, man, those are, as you know, those are decisions that you make on the fly.
Yep.
That's not a set piece. That's not something you drill. That's, all right, we're pushing, go now. And it worked out great.
I like seeing that from a rookie in the league as well.
Yeah, me too.
Apop being that confident, that alpha to actually just run through. Yep. No fear. And create plays like that.
But ultimately, even that was not enough. G2 with a 4-round lead. They have 4 ults to work with. Now you've got an aggressive hit B main right at the beginning. Doesn't seem like EG want to deal with that whatsoever. Oh, he's going fast.
Fast reclear this time.
Dogma's there to greet. Jonah P investing the ult. Might get a kill on Superman and does.
How does he find Superman?
Fallon does not say, but they've drawn out the Roomba. They've drawn out the nade. And for now, that's what they're going to have to settle with. Apop, once again, he's been a menace.
Look at how far up he is.
Is that going to be
reactive again?
Derek, patient with it. The first, not able to convert onto the second. Shot goes just a bit wide. But Jonah P with the possibility to close this round out. You can deal with Apop and his late lurk. He does get one. That's 3 on the round for him.
That's a huge kill.
A 2v2 now, and I feel like we find ourselves in this position a lot on Sunset, where members are just scattered across the map. Apop falls. Net was just waiting, patient with it. He knew it was inevitable.
Very smart. Very, very smart from Net.
There's been a lot of talk about Nature and the potential that he has. Big moment here. Can he pull this thing off? A 1v2. He's got a fault line to play with 25 armor. No other utility to his name. What he does have, though, is the benefit of time. The spike has been taken away for a few moments now.
He knows now, Doug.
I mean, he's got to know. That's got to be enough for G2 to go aggressive with it. Net is at least going to get half. The spam drops. There's the fault line on the swing, but Trent went a little bit aggressive. He's going to stick it! Oh my gosh, Nature goes massive for EG!
So many players on this EG roster have this clutch potential.
That was so close to the defuse.
Yeah. Great heads-up awareness to spam the first guy.
And I think, again, there was so much time that had been burned that Trent really had no option there but to go to try to stick it. And when you've got the fault line, you've got the swing, I mean, the cards were set there, and Trent didn't have a good hand.
And it makes you think. First guy that got on the bomb, he could have defused from safety, but he didn't.
Potentially, yeah. Dogmo continuing to cause problems.
Oh, this room is going to be huge. And nade!
Those two may be in trouble.
Oh.
Leaf tucking takes a little bit of damage. He's actually getting away with a lot here. I don't know that they invest anything else to clear him. Meanwhile, Apop with the rocket. Excuse me, Jogamo onto Jonah P. Leaf. They're going to know. Oh, they don't know. It looked like he cleared it for a moment. You're right. Now Net and Leaf left to try to pick up the pieces as Leaf was surrounded. Now Net on his own, just the Sheriff. Snap onto Derek is clean.
Sheesh.
That's the first step of many to go, though.
Apop has touched their spawn, I think.
Every single round.
Like every round that he hasn't died early.
3 on the round from him. You imagine a timeout maybe coming here soon. because they have not been able to deal with the constant pressure that Apoth has been able to apply.
And you could see that G2 is actively trying to stop this early A pressure, but when you're running this comp against the Breach comp, it's just so hard to win that battle. The Breach util, Fade util is just too strong compared with that Raze when he's taking early space.
Oh, it's smothering.
Limits the places that you can play.
And a timeout has been called. See if they can figure out how do they deal with Apoth, how do they deal with the oppressive utility that comes from the Fade, that comes from the Breach.
And I think if I'm the coach of G2 right now, I'm telling his team, I'm like, listen, what worked was securing mid control, making sure it's all clear. Apoth doesn't get that timing in mid, and then going into the retake. Seems like they already veered off of that. Did it great on the eco round.
Yeah, they did.
Close game from what seemed like it was going to be an absolute stomping for the side of G2.
Yeah, bro, that 7-0 start is a distant memory.
So insane.
What are the adjustments on the other side of this timeout? G2 still have a lead, but it feels like they've been white-knuckling their way through these last couple of rounds, just trying to hang on as desperately as they can to close this map out.
I think they need to play more off these trips. Play a little bit more of the retake on the actual site. Don't die early. Don't try to fight for that A space because you've been losing the fight almost every single time.
Chogmo's already gotten high ground. Their early flash and the satchel across are going to find a little bit of space elbow.
Love this spot from Valen. A nice passive angle here. He can easily cheese the kill onto this lane.
If he gets challenged, yeah.
Here's the adaptation from G2. Take the B main space, push all the way up, secure the info.
Almost has to be like a blanket that's rolling across the site to make sure they've dealt with the late lurk. There was a slight pause, but EG now pushing their way out onto the site.
Smart reaction from EG. They saw the Roomba.
They're so patient with this. Nature's going to have the Rolling Thunder online, which is going to be massive in the post plant now. Valen not able to find a kill, a little bit of spam through the smoke. Has to give the position up.
Oh, no way, this is perfect.
That's going to push them all back. I don't think it caught net, though.
Only got one.
And there's really no way for them to follow up on that. So it's not even about taking the fight to them. It's about just buying time. And that's exactly what they've done. You start to see the utility now flood over the side as Chogmo somehow gets to. But net on the trade as Leaf pushes forward, tucked into the smoke. Superman against the world, trying to get a second. Chogmo there too. Valen left by himself, and it's not going to be enough.
What a post plant. And like you said, understanding that that breach ult didn't connect on all the players, just using it for the stall, forcing the clock to go down, making G2 have to push through these site smokes that Superman is putting up while he's on top of that default box. Such a hard retake against that comp. And great reactionary play from EG right now. Understanding that G2 pushed B main. Okay, we can take A space now. Yeah. If anyone's there, there'll be one guy max.
Right.
1 to 2 people max.
Right.
Nobody's there. We know it's retake. Let's set up.
Another light buy for G2. You see the financial implications of how these last couple of rounds have gone.
And this stun is so brutal. It stuns all of lane and elbow.
It's gonna hit.
Look at this.
It's just waiting for the camera to get a little
contact.
Info. Yeah.
G2 can actually see the corner without being seen by the camera, though. Let's see if Apop is aware here. Stun is still out. Will he ask for it? Stun will not be coming out anymore.
Meanwhile, there's a dog that just went out market, catching onto the first. And
that's that off angle I was talking about.
You're absolutely right. I mean, this
showstopper online now.
This setup has been cooking for a long time. There's so many people there. Doesn't get away with the second. How on earth has Leaf done that?
Great
Nature
trades.
with an excellent response.
Another timing through mid. And this is a huge gap that EG has been abusing.
I mean, they've been making this area of the map their own, I think, onto net. They just don't have the guns to respond.
This mid area is just...
I mean, it's EG's.
So crazy for EG.
They've made it their own. Can Valen pull this off? Does he have an ability to upgrade a weapon? Just has a stinger here. Does not seem to be interested in any of it. The paranoia.
What a flash.
It's going to hit both. He's going to find it both. He gets the first He has to switch weapons. Right click, not connecting. Buying some time, nothing but 3 bullets. Tries to grab the weapon and it's just out of reach. Derek with a massive round and we're tied at 11.
Closes it out. And like I said, the reactions from EG are just clinical. They know that they're not holding mid. They're finding all these timings, even with this early first blood from Leaf. And what seemed like a misclick from Superman. Excuse me. I'm cool with him like that. I'm cool with him like that. Yeah. Pulled out his flash on accident.
Yeah.
He did not mean to do that. And they still win the round. Heroics right now from the side of EG.
And it looks like there's a timeout for dramatic effect in case there wasn't enough already.
Yeah. And Josh definitely grilling his team right now. What are you guys doing? We were up 7-0. I'm sure he's not saying that, but trying to keep them in it. You guys are so close to winning these rounds. Just close it out. Play together.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but it does feel like the last couple of rounds are the hardest. By closing out a map, when you have a big lead, all of a sudden it evaporates. You're feeling the pressure, like where have we gone wrong? Imagine that's what a lot of that conversation is right now.
Especially when you're losing 2v3s where you're up numbers.
Yeah.
You really get in your head in those moments. And it feels bad when you lose them because you're thinking in your head the whole time, I should have won that round.
Yeah,
this game would have been over already.
Yep.
All those thoughts going through your mind. And look at the scoreboard for the side of EG. Everyone equal. What was once the Superman show, he's only got 1 kill since that 3K on the bonus round. The anti-eco.
Frags by committee for Evil Geniuses. They find themselves tied up after the disastrous start. And they're in a fight now. Derek has his ult. Apop does too.
I think what you're going to see here is trying to set up Apop to get a lurk kill.
Again.
Get that Cypher ult down.
There.
And then hit a site together as a unit. Because Breach Comp's so good at that. So good at setting different players up for kills off the fault lines, off the flashes. Derek has an ult in this B split.
I mean, he can be a bully if the utility is used well.
And you don't even have to invest the stun.
I know, but the setup was there, right? The dog, if it latches, there's a swing, there's the fault line. It's so oppressive. They invest the Nightfall. Doesn't tag onto anyone, though.
A lot of info gathered from that nade ult.
Yeah, that hurts. That nade at his feet leaves him worse for wear. 58 HP, no armor left.
Really important here for EG to maintain this market control. And this is so oppressive.
And really important here for G2 to win this round. They don't have a ton of money. They've kind of got to convert here.
Great utility from G2.
Derek, the first to fall. There's a paranoia coming out from Superman as he tries to scale up. Net, who has not moved an inch, is rewarded for his patience. G2 just wiped the floor with EG there. Apos left alone. And you know he's on a flank somewhere. That's going to give him enough confidence to triple face, hold the defuse. G2 get to map point.
Huge round win there. And that all came off of Leaf and Valen on that retake. Yeah. Nading off Jogamo so he couldn't support Derek into market. Omen Flash comes out onto the market guy. Easy kills. Easy kills for them. Look at this retake. Didn't even see the guy, knew he was there, spammed him. And then, you're right, he didn't move an inch that entire round. He sat in that corner, held it down.
With the nade in his lab.
Yeah.
Can G2 put EG away here? They finally break some of the bleeding. Jonah P has his ult online, and it seems like a very similar look defensively to what we saw in the previous round.
And you see the adaptations. No early A fight from the side of G2.
Yeah. Not really interested in it. EG, are they going to try to contact out?
Another B hit.
And it's open once more. Ned is in the exact same position as we saw in the previous round.
A lot of utility used here on this site hit for the likes of EG. Only 1 flash left, I believe.
He's dead. There's nowhere for him to go. Surely Nate gets one down. He swings out and gets the kill.
I know exactly where you
Cypher all coming out here.
4v3 in favor of EG, and the spike has been planted too. They can take a slight step back. The onus is going to be on G2 to reestablish control if they can. Now funneling out, now trying to take some of the space. 2 spits for Trent.
What a shot!
Has already fallen. Derek once again answering the call for EG. Jogama on the swing. No, it's Trent with the filthy flick. Magnetic.
Great molly.
And they
did it land?
I know. It looked like it was just half a pixel short, leaving Jonah P by himself. A 1v3 would be a miracle with time so short. He gets onto the first, but that's all it is.
Unreal.
Overtime on the cards.
Unreal.
Switching sides. Overtime.
And what we thought was nerves in the beginning of the game, that's completely blown over. EG full steam ahead. What a comeback. Such a sick match so far.
It's just map 1.
I think a lot of people out there were kind of counting EG out.
Yeah.
They didn't really understand who's APOC, you know? How good is Supa? Now they truly get to see why they're on this stage. Let's go. And the IGL getting hype. Love that from Nature.
They're feeling it. They're feeling it here. First round of overtime. G2 on the attacking side. No early space taken from EG other than Dogamo, who's flirting with a little bit of it. But no challenge given. G2 seeming like they want to take some space mid.
Not backing down. This Jogamo.
Dude, that fault, they're doing such a good job of setting up off that fault line. Anytime there's any fight whatsoever, a fault line is there.
Absolutely, and great reaction from G2 here. Understanding there is no fault line up for this market fight. The Omen Flash misses though, and it doesn't matter, Doug.
APOP does not. Took a little bit of damage, but walks away with the gunfight win, and now a momentary calmness settles over the map.
Derek very deep in this corner.
Do they clear him? They try.
Great trade.
He still gets his net 10 HP left.
Revealing area.
And once again, the round is thrown into disarray as you're seeing fights across multiple areas of the map. Jonah P cheeky with the challenging Superman and getting away with it. But APOP yet again! Valen left alone, 10 HP, has the spike in hand.
Cover going out.
Talk about being there for your teammate, huh?
APOP has just been nuts these last couple of rounds,
Superman delaying that fight for as long as he could. APOP getting 3 because of that. 10 HP for Valen here.
Oh, so close. Somehow manages to dodge the damage, gets the timing on a Jogamo. 1 kill left. Battle of the IGLs. The mine's going toe-to-toe. Nature's gotten it to half. He's gonna stick it the whole way!
Wow! IGL versus IGL. Nature sticks it.
Switching sides.
No mind games.
Match point.
He's not playing those games with Valen.
No.
Ice in his veins.
I can't believe he got away with that.
And what great play from APOC being there. Look at this timing.
Headshot. One enemy remaining.
They're just in time to get the trade. Yep. Gets a dink onto Valen as well. He easily could have gotten a collat there. Look at this guy. Rookie game, rookie year, first land, 20 and 18 on Cypher, nevertheless.
Not too shabby. EG have the lead for the first time all map. And maybe not a moment too soon. There's a 1 round away from taking a 1-0 series lead on their debut on this stage.
Look at EG.
And look at G2. Leaf with the opener with the op. Last cannon as he pushes his way forward. Trent seeming like they're not done with this map yet.
Very good adaptations from G2. Getting the op posted onto that market line to deal with any lurk in mid, whether that be Derek or APOC, who've been mainly there.
And then Trent
a lot. Playing in front of his smoke this time, not playing full retake.
Yep.
Those are overtime plays right there. Great adaptations that they make.
3 seconds on fault line.
But we got 3 of the clutch gods right now playing together. And this, look at this flash off the tap. It's so clean.
It's hit them all.
Player standing.
But it's still not enough.
Planted.
Nature was able to pull off that 1v1 before, but a 1v4?
This is very hard.
This is borderline impossible. Potentially the makings of a miracle, but it's not even really planted in a position that he can do much with.
Great reaction from Jonah P, turning that flash, getting 2 on that CT push.
Switching sides.
And that's why he's called the Professor,
Overtime.
Is he?
I think that's what the P stands for.
Did you just make that up?
I don't think so, man. He's schooling these kids in the server. We've seen it. All from this first blood. Later. That's a huge kill.
Oh, it's massive.
That's the first time we've seen Leaf off on this map as well in this series.
To bust that out in OT.
Perfect timing.
Is just
Look at
bold.
Superman with a judge. Oh no, we've seen this before.
Remember, it was 3 kills he got, almost in this exact same place with the judge.
And you know what? Something crucial. He's not smoking it this time on purpose.
There's no way that nobody would expect that. You wouldn't expect them here.
Yeah, he wants them to walk in. Let's see though if G2 still decide to use utility to clear this close left corner. Oh, and this is
patient with it. The crosshair there. And the shells cause problems. He's got a TP, or is he going to stay and take the fight? Tries to get out, and he does so just in the nick of time. 30 HP, and he gets away with murder.
Isn't that crazy? And that's why EG picked up Superman on this Omen roll. So aggressive. So sneaky, he gets out.
Dude, most players, they get out after their first. He stays, somehow gets away. I don't know how he's done it.
Looks like EG overthinking it a little bit here. No info on the A side of the map.
Or anywhere on the map, really. G2 have cut noise.
Yeah, and this Viper util, this is
30 seconds left.
why the Viper is chosen by G2. They're able to feint this A pressure with that wall and orb up.
But Jogamo not falling for it.
Early
See
fault
the
line.
spit come out. The flick onto Ned is gorgeous. You got the dart. They're going to have to try to deal with Jogamo satcheling back. 70 HP. Jonah P waiting on the other side of the pillar as he continues to swing out. Continues to take the fight their way. EG take the lead back.
Full control of that round. From start to finish.
Switching sides. Match point.
G2 missing their timing there. Waiting a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Nature able to get his fault line back up and rotate there in time to B site.
Well, and Jogamo never left either. It was,
Yeah,
it was
what a
perfect.
shot. And when he's doing stuff like this with satchels, you know he's on point.
10.
Look at that util, man.
Fucking go.
Y'all heard nothing, all right? He didn't say anything.
Let's flip and go.
Yeah, it's a family-friendly show here.
Love the excitement. Love the energy from this EG squad.
And you can feel the tension of the moment as they enter what is now going to be potentially the last round of this double OT affair so far. Both teams have called a timeout.
Yeah.
So we have a few moments to kind of break down how we've gotten to this point. For EG, I was talking to Derek before the show started, and I was honest with him. I was like, man, I'm not going to lie to you. There are a lot of people who are saying this EG roster is better than people realize.
Yep.
He kind of smirked a little bit and goes, I mean, we'll see. They look good.
They are good. Great fundamental plays. Potter putting in the systems required for them to do great, setting them up for success. And the players just having to apply it. And they look like brothers out there. They look very comfortable with each other. Looks like everyone's having a good time. They all have the same mindset. And a lot of pressure on G2 because, I mean, they are supposed to be the favorites in this series.
Sure. I mean, it is really tough to say when you haven't seen a team on the stage, right? We could guess with EG
On
what
paper.
might happen. But yeah, on paper. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I will say, too, as we think about G2 and kind of their DNA going all the way back, this core that has been together for a long time, the wins that they put together are usually a little messy and a little scrappy, and they have to earn them. And, again, Valen was talking about this last week during his interview. That's what kind of makes up this team. That's what adds a little bit of grit to them.
Resilience.
Yeah, we'll see if they can navigate this well.
So intense. What a game. Double OT already. But EG in the driver's seat. Another op-up from Leaf. Let's see if EG is aware this time.
Remember, he was the one who controlled the middle of the map in the previous round. Or in the previous round, he had the op, was able to apply some of that pressure, take care of, I believe it was Apoth.
You know what's so insane to me?
Tell me.
Is that EG has done this A default, I think, almost every single round besides, like, bonus round. If it's not broken, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, they don't get the info on the op.
Oh my gosh!
What an entry from Ja! The awareness! He read right into that, Doug.
They had no idea he was there. That was purely reactionary.
He read right into that. Understanding somebody else broke that dog. There could be a guy there.
What an opener for EG. Can G2 respond? Still a bit separated. 3 members A, though. And they're only getting closer together.
And look, that kill allows APOF to start his shenanigans in mid again.
And that's why you see Net so far back. Look at his positioning.
He's waiting for the top mid.
You've got the cam market. The trip has been cleared. And is that enough to elicit a response?
Getting so much info here. He's just a human drone at this point.
I mean, APOF is taking away every single layer to this passive defense that they had. They clear the trip, they clear the cam, and they call the rotate over to B. But G2's hot to trot on it as well. It's just Ned who's here so far, but reinforcements are not too distant. Can he hold the line by himself? The one way to spam through. The suck nade not going to connect on it as APOF tries to get the first. He does. They seem to have held the line bound, and Joe P left alone, and they will not stand. EG take down G2 15-13 on their debut.
What a game, what a map. On G2's map pick as well.
What a fight.
Wow. Jogamo turning up. He was relatively quiet all game. Superman stepping up in the beginning. Jogamo and APOF. The whole squad closing it out.
I mean, it really was. It really was a whole team effort. I mean, everybody, you mentioned it a couple of rounds ago, they were all fragging together. That was exactly what they needed. To clutch back this round, this map win is just so impressive.
Not a lot of people know this, but that last round was all because of APOF. He was 100% telling his team, come B, come B, come B. And instantly you saw on the minimap they came, nobody for G2 was there.
15-13 in favor of Evil Geniuses. Map 2 on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Take my beat back. Take my beat. 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 take my beat back. Take my